up in a masjid if you try to speak about some of these things. You may be cursed and boycotted and abandoned and treated as a kafir, not even a Muslim brother, if you try to speak about some of these things elsewhere. But you are living in an environment where this is normal. So take advantage of that. Understand that. And raise your children upon this understanding. Yani, when was the last time you met a young boy who's not wearing a soccer jersey for some kafir, who all day runs, that this is his life. He knows how to run from the one net to the other side of the field. And he becomes famous, makes a lot of money, and our children, they think this is Superman. This is number one. So he wears a jersey that says, Ronaldo or Batikh, whatever his name is, some disbeliever. And you ask him, what do you know about Umar ibn Khattab? Who's that? Who's Umar ibn Khattab? But what do you know about, this singer? Oh, yeah. He made a new song, last week. I memorized some of the lyrics. Oh, okay. Did you hear the last movie, that was issued? Maybe 10-year-old kid, huh? Did you watch, what was the movie about magic? That crazy movie that spread all over, they made books about it? Whatever. Shirk, kufr in the content of the things that the children are learning. But wallah, they know this. He will tell you the PlayStation, when it was manufactured, in which country, how many they sold in the first day, how many people got the original, then version number 2, PS2, PS3, 4, 5, 6, 15, then the different games. They know everything. They know everything. And the father is at home. Nice TV channel. New TV channel, new movies. Hollywood, right at your home. Honey, make some popcorn. And let us have a nice Islamic modern life. We are going to Jannah. You say, man, you must be joking with yourself and with your children. You must be misunderstanding the deen of Islam altogether. If we were upon their way, this could never be the way your house runs. Never. It will be something totally different. People call it extreme. What am I going to do? You think it's extreme? That's not my problem. Following the deen is extreme, that's your problem. We just follow. Not having a TV? Big deal. Since when was the TV a must? Huh? Have you ever seen someone sell you a house with a TV in there? You need a window, you need a bathroom, you don't need a TV. It's an extra luxurious thing. You don't have to have a TV, ya akhi. We don't even have enough time to read the Quran. We don't have enough time to memorize ayat and narrations. We don't have time to sit with our kids, teach them the sunnah, the seerah. We don't have time. We need the TV after all this, then when are you going to have time? If you're not watching TV, you don't have time. Because you have to work, you have to earn a living, you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to rest. So many things in the day, that you don't even have time to sometimes study. You ask the students, so we're going to add a TV and make Tom and Jerry raise our children. Killing each other all day and fighting, cursing. The Little Mermaid. What is the Little Mermaid? She's a half-naked woman wearing a bra, running away from her father because she loves the man who lives on earth. And the little daughter, innocent, watching Disneyland all day, say, "Ma fi mushkila, Disneyland nice." Then when she's 15 years old, wallah, she runs out of the house. Why? She loved the boy from the next door, school. Ma'as salama. Now, you may not know what led to that, but it was the brainwashing that she was receiving all these years when she was watching The Little Mermaid. So I'm not trying to freak you out here or scare you, but we must really have some understanding that the whole world is trying to take us away from this understanding of the deen. The whole world is working with each other to make me and you deviant, to impose poison in our lives through the television, through the media, through the nonsense. And if we fall for this trap, then we can never be like these brothers. Because you cannot imagine Umar ibn Khattab being obsessed with some famous sports figure during the time of the Greeks, because the Greeks were known for the Olympics. They started the Olympics. Can you imagine Umar walking around with a jersey? Say, "Well, I love Cleopatros," whatever his name was. Say, this is one of my, this is one of my big fans. Did you see any one of them doing any of this nonsense? But today, our children, everyone is an example except the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Everyone. Yeah, it's traumatizing. So then, we must make a change. Before our children, you. Sometimes, we want to fix the child and you're broken. How you going to fix it? So when I'm saying that, speaking of the children, this is an indirect hint for me and you that we must first fix ourselves. Yeah, you're going to live this life for some 20, 30, 40 years, but then you're going to leave. You're leaving regardless. And it's either Jannah or Jahannam. And it all depends on how you handle business today. Why would you want to run some lousy business, cheat the people, no quality, no integrity? Why? Why don't you do business right, be patient, struggle, suffer, then enter Jannah? And you cannot do that unless you do it the way they did it. So, I mean, we have been given simplified information, and it seems that we don't want it. You know, we're getting everything on a gold platter, and brothers just don't want it. We have to be begged to follow the sunnah, and we don't want to follow the sunnah. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like brothers beg us. Ya akhi, please, please, please imitate the Prophet ﷺ. And the brothers like, I'm okay, ya akhi. I have my own way. He has his way, I have my own way. You get shocked. Is this Islam? Is this what Islam was? Is this how the companions were? Is this how the early generations were? No, they were not like this. So, tonight you make a choice. Tonight, before you leave this place, you make a choice to better yourself. You're not going to do everything in one night. Tomorrow you're going to become, Shaykh al-Islam. But you must start somewhere. Strive. And Allah promised that if you strive, Allah will aid you. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in our cause, we will guide them to our paths. A promise from Allah. So I'm only calling myself and you to take the initiative tonight to start trying to follow the way of the righteous predecessors. To live the Sunnah the same way they lived the Sunnah. To live Islam and love Islam. To pray to Allah while we feel that we are praying. You know, if you pray and you don't feel like you're praying, meaning you're not there. If Salah is a burden on you, you're not there. If you don't like going to the masjid, you're not there. If you pray in the second Jama'ah, you're not there. If you're not waking up for Fajr, you're not there. And I could go on for an hour telling you the things that me and you suffer from that will make us disqualified from being there. So it's about time, ya akhwan, that we wake up. Start taking this deen seriously. Be an example to be followed. Propagate the Sunnah. Live according to the Sunnah. Wallahi, you will live happy. I promise you, not because of me, because Allah promised, you will live a happy life. You will be satisfied even if the money is low. You will be comfortable and honored even if the people are disgraced. Because you'll be honored through Islam and you'll be dishonored and disgraced through not implementing Islam. So I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to give me and you the understanding of the righteous predecessors and to make us among those who follow them strictly in faith and in their way of life. Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us among those who will enter Jannah among the saved sect and will not be among those who enter Jannah. Wallahu ta'ala alam.